Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Vid Ratior, on behalf of the Pacific Islander Student Center. Also, I'm speaking a little bit on behalf, I'll speak on behalf of my boss, Jim Mellon, who made this happen by his connection with the East-West Center. So I want to thank Jim for enabling this event to happen today and having Father Hezel here with us. I'm also very honored to be here to host him and to reconnect with him. I was a Jesuit for 10 years of my life, and he was one of my mentors for those long years, short and long years. So it's a real honor for me to reconnect with him. Me as a married man and he father of 2 kids, and he as father of all the Catholics, I guess. Father Hezel, since arriving in Micronesia in 1963, this was a couple of years before I was born. As a young Jesuit, Father Hezel has tirelessly served Micronesia in a number of ways. He recently published a book entitled Making Sense of Micronesia, The Logic of Pacific Island Cultures. He is a self-taught historian. He has published a half-dozen books and well over 60 articles on Micronesia. And his influence on Micronesian history and studies has been described as formidable. He is frequently consulted within and beyond Micronesia by government officials, educators, researchers, and development specialists. He has received honorary doctorate degrees from the University of Guam and from his alma mater, Fordham University, where he currently resides right now. Most recently, Father Hezel has been conducting research with Micronesians now living in the United States. And so part of what he will discuss today is part of those research and his long history of working in those regions. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Father Fran Hezel, SJ.
This is a lot that we could talk about, but I want to be directed by you. I want this not to be simply a talk by me, but a conversation. This is what I told the young people who were interviewing me on TV before this, that I'd hope to make my life. And this is what I hope to make the next hour and a half. So please feel free at any time to stop me, make comments, ask questions, lead us in a different direction. The important thing here is that you be helped by this thing, not that I get a chance to finish whatever I happen to be babbling about at the time. I see that there's many people in the audience who know more than I ever will about Micronesia. At least know more about it here. Know more about it because they in fact are Micronesians, because they have a living tie to the cultures, or one of the cultures in the place. I'll never pretend to be a Micronesian. I'll just pretend to be a person who stands at the beach. Who stands at the beach, living there for a while, but helping to carry on the conversation between the ships that come in from the outside and the people who live in the villages there. That's been my role for all my adult life. It's a role I would like to continue, and it's a role that I would particularly like to play for the next hour and a half or so.
Well, my story started over 50 years ago, 1962. I was sitting at the side of a pool while I was doing, as a Jesuit scholastic, preparing to go to Regency to begin teaching the following year. I picked up a book and was reading about the missions, Jesuits and the missions, and the wonderful work that they did. I guess I had been thinking about it off and on, but I was inspired that evening to write a letter to our provincial volunteering for the missions. He told me to take a physical exam. I did, and passed the physical exam. And then about 2 months later, he told me that I was in, that I was going to be assigned the coming year. 1963, September 1963, after many frustrations because of the fact that planes were small in those days and you couldn't always count on them, even on the weekly flights. So I got to Micronesia by going, detouring around to Palau, and coming in a couple weeks after class actually began. I had 50 good years in Micronesia, or almost 50 good years in Micronesia. All the years were challenging, interesting, and all of them were an invitation to join in a partnership with people there. I came as a Jesuit scholastic, and I came to teach. But what I've said again and again is I ended up learning. I ended up learning about a place and the people that's changed my life. I think many of us foreigners can say that. We can say that honestly. Why do it? Well, or what have I done? I guess what I've done mostly is continue teaching at Xavier High School, directing the school and being principal for a number of years. And then later on through the Micronesian Seminar, because the Micronesian Seminar really was just a public education project. It was intended, founded to carry on a conversation with people. And it's important to note that this was carrying on a conversation. It wasn't just a one-way thing, you know, do it this way, this way, this way. We always expected feedback from people, and fortunately we got it. So for Mike Sem, we were doing videos. We ended up doing 73 videos. We did issues of a Micronesian counselor and a lot of writing. We did conferences and talks. And we accumulated a library, photographs, and other materials on the islands. Now I'm back in the U.S. I'm certainly back there for this year. I'm hoping that sometime in the future I'll be able to return to the islands. Excuse me. And continue the work that I was doing there. Or at least have a chance to pass off this work to somebody else, to transition it.